Como recién decía Seba, la verdad que un año diferente, ¿no? ¿Cuántas veces compartía con ustedes el tema de lo impredecible, de qué es lo que podía pasar, esta situación cada vez más compleja, esta guerra global? La verdad que todos hablan de paz, pero se están preparando para la guerra. Quiero ir a una imagen que la vamos a ver a pleno. Es una imagen mítica, claramente, pero es una imagen que juego con ustedes y a mí me va a posibilitar hacerme una pregunta. El caballo de Troya significa la traición, significa la sorpresa, significa lo impredecible. Y la pregunta que comparto con ustedes, hoy es un primer programa de una situación totalmente diferente a nivel mundial. Es un programa en la estructura que vamos a compartir diferente, pero la pregunta, viendo este mito del caballo de Troya, dejado como regalo para que los troyanos lo entren y ahí salgan los soldados y puedan invadir la ciudad, finalmente después de que haya fallado tantos años el sitio a Troya. La pregunta es si Estados Unidos hoy es el caballo de Troya para Rusia, ¿no? Si este socio, este aliado hoy, en realidad es el caballo de Troya para una Europa que está cada vez más sola, que se pregunta cómo seguir, que se está rearmando con un país como Francia que le invita a sus vecinos a decirles, bueno, yo les voy a dar la protección nuclear. Bueno, un informe especial para tratar de ver qué es lo que está pasando y qué es lo que puede suceder en los próximos días. No es fácil ni siquiera anticiparse unas semanas. Todo cambia, pero claramente, lamentablemente, la situación va cada vez peor. Porque, como les decía hace un segundo, Europa habla de paz, Estados Unidos habla de paz, pero todos se están preparando para más guerra. El informe. Se habla por estos días con frecuencia de querer buscar la paz en torno a la guerra en Ucrania, pero Europa parece estar preparándose para otra realidad. A 3 años del comienzo de la guerra en territorio ucraniano y su expansión a nivel mundial, tantas conferencias y cumbres parecen haber borrado de la imagen colectiva los efectos de este conflicto.
We're living in the most momentous and dangerous of times. I do not need to describe the grave nature of the threats that we face or the devastating consequences that we will have to endure if those threats would come to pass, because the question is no longer whether Europe's security is threatened in a very real way or whether Europe should shoulder more of its responsibility for its own security. The real question in front of us is whether Europe is prepared to act as decisively as the situation dictates, and whether Europe is ready and able to act with speed and with the ambition that is needed. We are in an era of rearmament, and Europe is ready to massively boost its defense spending, both to respond to the short-term urgency to act and to support Ukraine, but also to address the long-term need to take on more responsibility for our own European security.
Думаю, задню здавати вже якби нема сенсу, бо тому що дуже багато вклав. Дуже багато вложено в цю війну, дуже багато життів. Ця війна забрала. Будемо якось викручуватися, будемо партизанити. Ну, я думаю, до останнього вони Україну не заберуть. У нас ще є багато патріотів, ми нащадки козацтва. Я думаю, ми будемо боротися до останнього. Всіх вони не винищать, як то кажуть. Що нам потрібна допомога. Бо сьогодні до Донецької області, Луганська, вже Дніпропетровська, а трошки часу пройде і ми, так сказати, розвернемося і вони будуть на кордоні Польщі або із Білорусі можуть рвонути на Литву.
Europa está sola. Después de 80 años de alianza transatlántica junto a los Estados Unidos, Washington decidió no solo cambiar las reglas de juego y apoyos, sino abrir mucho más que un canal de comunicación con Rusia. Bajo estas nuevas circunstancias, después de 3 años de guerra, la espera de Vladimir Putin por ahora parece haber valido la pena.
Первые контакты с новой американской администрацией вселяют определенные надежды. Есть встречный настрой работать на восстановление межгосударственных отношений. Важно, что наши сегодняшние партнеры демонстрируют прагматизм, реальный взгляд на вещи. Отказываются от многих стереотипов, так называемых правил и мессианских идеологических клише своих предшественников, которые, собственно, и привели к кризису всей системы международных отношений.
La realidad global se mueve de manera veloz. Los acontecimientos no dan tiempo ni siquiera a los protagonistas para saber cómo será el escenario que deberán enfrentar a las pocas horas de que una noticia irrumpe a nivel internacional.
Are you thinking about making any changes to NATO where a NATO country gets attacked but they're not paying enough dues so the United States doesn't defend them?
Well, I've said that to them. I said, if you're not going to pay, we're not going to defend. I said that 7 years ago. And because of that, they paid hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, if you're not going to pay your bills, we're not going to defend you. And it also went for the attack. But if they got attacked, they said, well, does that mean you won't defend us? I said, are you current or are you delinquent? They said, if we were delinquent, would you? I said, nope, I would not. And because of that, as you know, hundreds of billions of dollars came into NATO. You wouldn't have NATO right now if I weren't there. And your previous Secretary General has said that. He said he's never seen anything like it. When I came to NATO, when I first had my first meeting, I noticed that people weren't paying their bills at all. And I said I should wait till my second meeting, and I did. And I brought that up. And I said, if you don't pay your bills, we're not going to participate. We're not going to protect you. And when I said that, as soon as I said that, it was amazing how the money came in. The money came in, and now they have money. But even now, it's not enough. It's really not enough. They should be paying more.
President Trump, on Peter's question, are you going to make that policy, U.S. policy, that the U.S. wouldn't defend NATO countries that don't pay?
If they don't pay, I'm not going to defend them. No, I'm not going to defend them. I got into a lot of heat when I said that. You said, oh, he's violating NATO. And, you know, the biggest problem I have with NATO, I really, you know, I mean, I know the guys very well. They're friends of mine. But if the United States was in trouble and we called them, we said, we got a problem. France, we got a problem. A couple of others I won't mention. Do you think they're going to come and protect us? They're supposed to. I'm not so sure.
Well, so why stay in NATO at all?
I view NATO as potentially good, but you gotta get some good thinking in NATO. It's very unfair what's been happening. Until I came along, we were paying close to 100% of NATO. So think of it, we're paying 100% of their military, and they're screwing us on trade.
La suspension dans la guerre de l'aide à un pays agressé, ça signifie qu'on abandonne le pays agressé et qu'on accepte ou qu'on souhaite que son agresseur l'emporte. Ceci est évidemment pour la France et pour nous tous et pour les Européens et pour tous ceux qui sont attachés aux libertés et aux droits, pour ceux qui sont attachés à la Charte des Nations Unies par exemple.
Ante lo que parece ser una implosión de lo hasta ahora conocido, las fuerzas que van quedando luego del terremoto buscan reagruparse rápidamente, pero este orden que nace de un nuevo desorden parece invitar al caos, al menos hasta que se imponga una nueva realidad global.
La Russie du président Poutine viole nos frontières pour assassiner des opposants, manipule les élections en Roumanie, en Moldavie. Elle organise des attaques numériques contre nos hôpitaux pour en bloquer le fonctionnement. La Russie tente de manipuler nos opinions avec des mensonges diffusés sur les réseaux sociaux. Et au fond, elle teste nos limites. Elle le fait dans les airs en mer, dans l'espace et derrière nos écrans. Cette agressivité ne semble pas connaître de frontières. Mes chers compatriotes, face à ces défis et ces changements irréversibles, il ne faut céder à aucun excès. Ni l'excès des va-t-en-guerre, ni l'excès des défaitistes. La France ne suivra qu'un cap, celui de la volonté pour la paix et la liberté, fidèle en cela à son histoire et à ses principes.
La historia, sostienen los expertos, nunca se repite, ya que los patrones a lo largo del tiempo no son los mismos. Es verdad, pero un refrán sostiene que el hombre es el único animal que comete 2 veces el mismo error. ¿Será así esta vez? Se habla mucho de paz, pero todos se preparan para más guerra.
Еще с времен Наполеона, нашествия Наполеона, до сих пор кому-то не имется всех. Да. Есть еще люди, которые хотят вернуться к временам Наполеона, забывают, чем это закончилось.
Lo impredecible tomó el control. Lo que parecía imposible se convirtió en pocos días en la norma. La diplomacia fue reemplazada por las amenazas directas sin lugar para las formas.
Right, but what if Russia tries to invade or there's Russian aggression in response?
I just told you I don't think that's going to happen. And if that were going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal. If I thought that was going to happen, I wouldn't make a deal.
Some people may wonder why.
You know, you ought to focus on CNN on survival, not asking me these ridiculous questions. Focus on surviving, because CNN's got such low ratings, I don't think they're going to survive.
Poland was under Russian control for decades after the Second World War. When I was a kid, I looked at the United States not only as a most powerful country, richest country in the world, the country that has great music, great movies, great muscle cars, but also as a force for good. And now I'm talking with my friends in Poland, and they are worried that you align yourself too much with Putin. What's your message for them?
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, "Hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal?" That doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America and for the good of the world. I'm aligned with the world, and I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous hatred, and I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me to be tough? I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes.
For 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the President of the United States' words mattered more than the President of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, part of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact line?
2015.
2014
2014.
and 2014.
2014.
Yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but
that's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversation, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president. In 2019, I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel, we signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the
the
cards right now. With us, you start having
I'm not playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards.
Mr. President.
You're playing cards.
Serious.
You're gambling with the
president
lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but they had to use our military.
What about
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days, this is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks, of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times, thank you to American people.
Except that they're...
La distancia que separa a Europa de Estados Unidos, no solo en el tema Ucrania, es cada vez más profundo. La desconfianza agiganta la distancia generada por el Atlántico. Zelensky, después del golpe recibido en el Salón Oval, logró el apoyo de sus vecinos europeos. Pero ¿será suficiente? ¿Llegará a tiempo la ayuda? ¿Garantizará la paz? Europa habla cada vez con más insistencia del envío de soldados y ahora de un paraguas de defensa aérea con aviones a Ucrania. Todo a lo que se opone de forma tajante Rusia.
Це яка війна в Україні, яка може бути стабільність? Що я можу сказати? Каби літають, ракети літають, дрони літають. Ну що? Приємного мало, цікавого теж.
Вони як лізли, так і лізли. Ну, лізуть. яке закінчення, поки ми цього не бачимо. Ну, во всякому случаї, це моє мнення. Я не бачу цього закінчення. Лізуть, я не знаю, що має бути в голові в людині, яка пішла в бій, ну, група пішла в бій, її розбили, і через півгодини чи через годину виходить слідча група на те ж саме місце. Її розбивають, і після неї ще одна йде.